So as we shift our focus to the critical issue of cybersecurity in national security, we are honored to have a leading expert in the field to guide us through this discussion. To introduce our cybersecurity expert, may we request Ms. Reg of GIZ.
Colonel Francel Margaret Padilla, after finishing her education in the Philippine Military Academy in 2000, she had also advanced to having additional advanced degrees in Masters in Information Systems in the University of the Philippines, Masters in Public Management, major in Development and Security at the Development Academy of the Philippines, where she actually garnered the gold medal and top graduate and another medal for Best Action Plan and Project, and also a Master's in International Development Practice from the Monash University in Australia. She's also been a recipient of many awards, like being the #1 in the Basic Signal Career Course, a recipient of the Colonel Alan Dexter Award as an honor for being a graduate of the CEIS Officers Advanced Course in Fort Gordon, Georgia, USA, and also had various certification courses in information systems, as well as her VIP protection course. She has risen from the ranks from being an Army Signal Officer, having held different positions, which include being a part of the Army Management Information Center, being a part of the Presidential Security Group, being part of the National Task Force Against COVID-19 as an Information Systems Officer, and has continued orchestrating the command control communications as part of the Cyber C4S operations. But of course, she has proven to have broken a lot of glass ceilings, being not just recognized in the cybersecurity sector as being one of the top 10 women in cybersecurity in the Philippines, as being recognized as top 30 women in ASEAN security in the ASEAN region, but most recently having been recognized in last year, in 2023, as the Cybersecurity Woman Leader of the Year. This adds to her laurels, particular to her current role in the Armed Forces of the Philippines, being the first female spokesperson of the AFP in its 88-year-long history. Tama ba, Ma'am Francel? So, of course, as much as I like to talk about the personal issues of how I invited you, the circumstances of how you got invited to this forum, let's keep that for another day. But of course, it is my pleasure and honor to introduce a woman who has broken a lot of barriers in science, in cybersecurity, and also in the military, as a leader, as a soldier, and also as an individual. Welcome, Colonel Francel Margaret Padilla.
Alright, magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Alam ko po medyo info overload na kayo for those who have been speaking since this morning. So, ito pong talk ko would be very light, no? Magbobolahan lang tayo, so to speak. I will not be speaking about the technical details about cyber. That would be in another forum para sa mga technical people. But we'll just speaking about it in general. So my talk would actually be having a step back, no? Look at the bigger picture and try to connect the dots on what's happening in the country right now. So, ganun ang mangyayari sa usapan natin ngayong hapon. I'm really glad to be here, to be part of you this afternoon. Malapit po sa puso ko ang Coast Guard. Ang apelyido ko po talaga ay Tabor Lupa. But I used my maiden name, Padilla, after being widowed because for easy retention daw. So, it's actually a screen name when I became spokesperson. But I still use Tabor Lupa as as my official name. Yan. So, okay. So we talk about cybersecurity for national security and how we will be strengthening our national defense in this digital era that we have today. So, dito, I think, parang hindi siya, oh yan. Basically, lahat naman ng pinag-usapan since this morning, all forming this bigger picture on the issues on the West Philippine Sea. And so dito, when we talk about national security, the context of cybersecurity means that we look at all of these small incidents that are happening, and actually it forms part of a bigger whole of all the operations that's being done against us, no? But ang nangyayari lang talaga, hiwa-hiwalay, different scenarios, different stakeholders, different kung sino-sino yung target audience nila, and in the totality of things, no, nakukuha nila yung end goal nila in mind. So here we look at the cyber attacks, espionage, and other digital threats that we're facing due to the conflicts that we have in terms of national security. So magsimula tayo rito sa usaping to, no? The West Philippine Sea as the ground zero of emerging risks and opportunities. So makita ninyo, itong West Philippine Sea issue, kanya talaga nag-ugat lahat yung geopolitical tensions on what's really happening, pati yung maliliit. But because our president has already spoken, no? Sabi niya, we will not give in a single inch of our territory and going down to a single millimeter of our territory to a foreign power. Yan yung sinabi niya nung huling SONA. So, yan ang main message of our commander-in-chief. So doon talaga kami magbe-base ng how we operate in terms of the AFP. And so when we look at this, AI is actually a threat, no, that we are actually looking at. Kasi kung makikita nyo, maraming mga iba't ibang tools that are coming out right now. ChatGPT is just a language model, no? So when you speak about AI, what comes to mind is ChatGPT. But that's not the end-all be-all of AI, no? AI is so much more. Lahat na more than just a language model, no? So ang gusto natin mangyari, if the opponent or the adversary is using artificial intelligence for attacks, therefore we have to leverage also an AI for our defense. So we really have to up our game in terms of our technology, no? So sa amin sa AFP, we have created the Cyber Command right now, no? So we have 4 domains of operations now: air, land, air, and sea, and now we have cyber. So sana sa Coast Guard, sir, magawa nyo din yan na meron kaming counterpart na cyber unit dun sa inyo. Marami naman din nagla-lateral entry dun sa inyo. So let's look at the talents of those who are in tech, no, in STEM, on how to leverage this. So this is a very good opportunity for us also to invest in technology. So kung titignan nyo, ano ba yung mga nangyayari, no? There were a lot of cyber attacks that have occurred. So kung titignan nyo, yung huli nakita na naman natin sa Kaap, hindi tayo nakapalipad ng any aeroplano doon. And because of that, we have lost millions in the process just because walang lumipad sa himpapawid natin na any commercial aircraft. And it shows na meron talagang effect ang ano man ang mangyari sa cyber sa physical domain. Diba? Yung nangyayari sa cyber, nararamdaman natin sa totoong buhay, no? So, such as that. So, look at that, yung PhilHealth, for example, bakit ba mawala yung PhilHealth? Makuha yung, yung data nyo. So, I have been working at the National Task Force for COVID-19 during the pandemic response, and I was designated by my boss, Secretary Galvez then, as the IS officer of the National Task Force against COVID-19. Pag na-hack itong PhilHealth, anong makukuha nila? Usually, why they get the data is it entails money, di ba? So for example, hacker ako, makuha ko lang yung database, say 110 million Filipinos. No? Ang nag-positive sa COVID, sabihin mo ng kalahati na lang, say 50 million Filipinos. And they are in the database of PhilHealth, yung mga nag-claim. So, if I sell one positive name na ng COVID for 1 peso, that's 50 million pesos worth of data. And then, kukunin ko yung cellphone number nung lahat ng 50 million na yun na nag-positive sa COVID. That's another 50 million. Name and the cellphone number, that's 100 million. 100 million data that they get, they sell it on the deep web or the dark web. And ano mangyayari? Lahat ng nag-positive, makaka-receive kayo ng text message. Positive in COVID, Ito ang iinumin nyo para hindi na kayo magkaroon na ulit nun or regain your health back, something like that. So that is targeted marketing. That's why yung mga companies, they're willing to shell out money to buy the data because they target potential customers, no? Kasi talaga namang nag-positive sa COVID yun. So mas malaki yung chances na makabenta sila. So ganun yun, that's why they're selling the data, no? And sometimes our weakness actually becomes our strength. Why? Because our systems are in silos. No, hindi connected yan. But we are moving towards e-government. Pag nag-e-government tayo, lahat ng systems natin interconnected na. One example of this is Estonia. If you heard about the case in Estonia. Estonia is a small country, no? Connected na lahat yung government systems nila. You can very well be in your homes and you can apply to pay taxes, apply for business permits and everything without leaving your homes, no? Because everything is interconnected. So what happened? Just because of sa isang rebulto, no? May isang rebulto doon, nilipat ng Estonia yung from a place in their plaza to the cemetery. And what irked that is yung mga Russians, importante sa kanila yung taong sinisimbolo ng rebultong yon. So nag-retaliate sila against Estonia. And they did a lot of cyber attacks. And pag ang system nila, inatake nyo, down yung buong government system because it's interconnected. No? So looking at them, no, we do not need to reinvent the wheel kasi medyo nahuli tayo. So what came out of this is they came up with the Tallinn Manual. Yung Tallinn Manual is like the Bible of cybersecurity. So kung ano yung experience nila, kung paano sila na-hack and how they get up from that, no, nandun siya sa Tallinn Manual. So pwede nating gamitin yon for us to fortify our cyber systems, no. So ang gusto natin mangyari sa cybersecurity, for lack of a better term, ang cybersecurity is not really very technical. You are part of cybersecurity as long as you have a phone and as long as you connect to the internet. So connected ka sa internet, there's a cyber issue to that na, no? And hindi natin pwedeng sabihin na, hey, foreign entity, you're intruding to the Philippine cyberspace. There's no such thing, no? Walang cyber domain ang Philippines. So paano natin yon mapoprotektahan ang cyber domain ng Pilipinas? Wala nga tayong barriers. So the key is cyber hygiene. Prevention. Kailangan bawat isang mamamayang Pilipino, as long as kumonek sa cyberspace through their internet, marunong siyang protektahan yung sarili niya. How? Maging mapanuri siya, no? Hindi siya nagkiklik ng links. Actually, basically, link lang talaga. I am a certified ethical hacker. Well, it's a misnomer because there's nothing ethical in hacking. No, it's the violation of privacy. But it's ethical in a sense that, say, a bank would hire me to hack their system in any way I can. And in the process, I will tell them how I did it. Because there is no impenetrable system. Kayang i-hack yan. Kasi wala namang sistemang super closed na hindi siya kayang pasukin. There's always gonna be an open port. There's gonna be a port open because the mail has to come in. No, there's gonna be a port open because internet has to come in. So those things, there's ports. Pag yun yung open, dun pumapasok yung mga malicious software, no? So viruses, malware, everything, sa open port siya papasok. So dun nangyayari yung hacking. And hacking, in simple terms, there's an app for that. No, I am nothing without my tools. So ang hacker, basta may tool ka, kaya mo mag-hack. So if for example, ang kailangan kong gawin is i-crack yung password mo, I just need a password crack tool. And I can crack your password. And it just takes time. No? Ang ano lang dyan is, for example, kaya nagagalit kayo sa tech kasi sasabihin namin, every 25 days, you have to change your password to 15 characters long, combination of uppercase, lowercase, symbols, and numbers. Because if it's, say, 6 characters long with just all letters, immediately I get it with my tool. No? Para lang yan Google search eh. Ang bilis lang niyang mag-process. But the harder the combination, the longer it takes. But it will still be cracked. Kaya nga pinapapalitan namin on the 25th day. Something like that. No? So there's always something to it. Reactionary kasi ang software. ang virus, yung antivirus nyo, walang end-all, be-all na antivirus na kilala niya lahat ng virus na papasok. For example, I will create a virus, say the love virus, which is created by a Filipino. No? Say, ang serial number, ones and zeros lang naman ng computer eh. But say, for purposes of explanation lang, the serial number of the love virus is 14344. So si antivirus, alam niya na love virus yan. So pagpapasok sa port si 14344, ilalock niya yung port. Virus ka, hindi ka pwedeng pumasok, sabi ni antivirus. O sige, ako yung creator ng love virus. I will rename my virus to 14345. And hindi na siya kilala ng antivirus. So, makakapasok siya, create havoc, and dahil nakilala na siya ni antivirus, ilalagay siya sa database. So 14345 is now banned. Okay, so next na mag-a-attempt pumasok si 14345, banned na siya sa network. But, if you update your antivirus, so pag hindi kayo nag-update, lahat ng new streams of virus, hindi rin niya madidetect. So, ganun siya ka-reactionary. So, ganun din yung Facebook nyo. Nag-update kayo, recent, right? So, if you look at your Facebook now, go to General, Settings, Apps and Applications, no? By default, it turned on a new feature. That new feature says, off Facebook activity. Pag titignan nyo yan ngayon, naka-on yan kasi nag-update kayo. Kasi fino-force niya tayo mag-update. You can't use it if you don't update. But because it's open, Facebook now can see everything you do outside Facebook. So you access your land bank, you access your BDO, you access carousel or anything else. Na-access siya ni Facebook dahil naka-open siya. So mamaya na. Balik kayo doon, turn off nyo siya. No? So ganun siya. Mag-ingat kayo sa mga updates din because yun nga, nothing in life is free. No? So there's no such thing as a free lunch. But because you are using Facebook and you're agreeing to their policies, they're selling your data. That's how they earn. No? So yun. So how does AI in Facebook work? Anybody uses Facebook? Lahat ng Facebook? Yes, kunyari pa kayo, balat kayo eh. Ha? Anybody uses AI? AI. Sino gumagamit ng AI? Artificial Intelligence. Si Reg lang? Dalawa? When you're using Facebook, you're using AI. How? Mag-usap tayo. Factor. Ano ba magandang laptop ang magandang bilhin? No? For example, gaya usapan namin. Alam niyo ba, mamaya, give or take a few seconds or minutes or hours, and it's gonna come out, your sponsored ads will show laptops being sold to you. So how did it, paano niya nalaman na nagbebenta ng laptop sa phone, gusto mo ng laptop? Because, ganito yan, nag-download kayo ng application, di ba? Download the apps, libre, right? Ngayon, you said yes to the fine print without actually reading the fine print. And anong inagrihan nyo doon? You gave Facebook, or say, nag-download kayo ng kung ano man, you gave it access to what? Access to your microphone, access to your cameras, access to your contacts, access to your messages, everything, no? So dahil yes kayo ng yes, hindi nyo binabasa, nakikinig ngayon ng phones natin sa atin. So the artificial intelligence takes certain keywords and lo and behold, nandun na siya. Paano din? No? Ilan ang friends nyo sa Facebook? 2,000. Pero pag tinignan nyo yung feed nyo, konti lang yung lumalabas. Sino lang yung nilalike nyo, kinokomentan nyo, sila't sila din. No? And then all of a sudden, sabi mo, nga pala, may friend pala ako sa US. Matagal na yun, di kami nag-uusap. Kamustahin ko kaya? So punta kayo sa Messenger, message ka. Hello sis, kamusta? And when you go back to your news feed, her posts now coming out. Dati hindi. So that's how AI works. Kung ano yung hilig nyo, ano yung gusto nyo, yun ang lumalabas. So, yung reels nyo, kung ano yung pinapanood nyo sa reels, yun lang din yung lumalabas. So kung mahilig kayo manood ng mukbang o yung mga Indian food, no? siya din ang lumalabas. Tama? So, yung mga misis, pag puro chicks yung lumalabas sa reels ni Mr., alam nyo na kung anong pinapanood niya. No? So, ganun talaga yun siya, no? It will really, the AI will pattern your likes and your behaviors. And yun ang lalabas na, pattern sabi niya. And yun ang nangyayari tuloy sa atin. So, it shapes now how we do and perceive things. So, ngayon, ini-impluwensyahan tayo ng artificial intelligence on how we do things in real life. Example, anybody heard about Cambridge Analytica? Parang hindi na tayo nag-move sa slide ko. Sorry po. Cambridge Analytica, have you heard? Cambridge Analytica is a, parang, software company, something like that. Hinire siya ni Trump during the election against Hillary. Hillary Clinton. So, anong nangyari? May magpa-pop up. This was used to influence elections. May magpa-pop up sa Facebook nung US user. Who are you going to vote for? Trump, Hillary, and undecided. So, ang sabi ni Cambridge Analytica, kapag you're already bent on a certain candidate, mahirap ko nang baguhin yung mind nyo to vote otherwise. Right? So, ang tinarget nila is the undecided population. So, pag sumagot kang undecided, you will be fed by a lot of posts. Sinisiraan si Hillary. So, plinansya niya yung katulong niya, she's not good with money, or something like that. Basta ganun, to shape the perspective. And in that event, nanalo si Trump sa election. And allegedly, during last election din, Chatham House rules tayo dito, sir, no? Parang sabi nila na ginamit din siya ng certain candidate dito sa Philippines. So, I mean, it just goes to show that what we see in social media and everything else influences how we perceive things and how we do things, no? Bakit si Facebook, nagpalit siya ng pangalan from Facebook to Meta? Because according to Mark Zuckerberg, there's another parallel universe called the Metaverse. Sino dito medyo kaedaran ko, lalabas yung edad who played the game Sims? You know Sims? Sims? The game? Pusang lawas, para ako lang matanda. Dalawa. Siguro sila makaka-relate. Sims actually is a game where you have a character. Pipiliin mo yung character na yon, yung physique niya and everything, no? And then that person lives, no? Magugutom siya, manliligaw siya and everything. So that is how it is in the metaverse. Mark Zuckerberg believes na bawat isa sa atin has a character in the metaverse. So, if you have a character in Facebook, so my character is Facebook is named Francel Margaret. I work in government, no? In military, I'm the AFP spokesperson. And poof, my Sims character in Metaverse will be that girl who is a spokesperson in the Armed Forces of the Philippines with kung ano yung nilagay ko lahat sa Facebook. No? So kung ano nilagay ko sa Facebook, nag-check-in ako, lagi akong nagkakape din lagi yung character ko. So, nag-experiment sila. Gumawa sila ng artificial intelligence na being, one guy, inilagay nila sa Metaverse. 2 lines of codes. Everything works in algorithms in the metaverse, in the cyber domain. You are a guy, this age, you lives in this place. That's it, no other code. And they observe this meta character. And after a few months, that character is already courting another character in Meta. So may nililigawan na siya. They're planning to get married and planning a future together. So what can you conclude with that? No? Ang sabi nila, ang diferensya nating human beings to artificial intelligence is we are capable of 1, decision-making and planning. But the experiment shows na yung character sa AI, the AI character is now capable of decision-making and planning. So may sinasabi silang parallel time na ma-overcome na tayo ng artificial intelligence kasi lahat ng katalinuhan ng buong mundo, nilalagay natin sa AI and it feeds it. Napanood nyo ba yung Mr. Incredible, yung The Incredibles? Have you watched that movie? Yung cartoons? Meron? Wala. Parang hindi ko makuha kung anong demographic yung mga nandito sa Coast Guard. Tao ba kayo? Kayo ba yung nanonood ng sine? Ha? Oo, but it's a cartoon. Oo. So anyway, yung sa Mr. Incredible, ang kalaban ni Mr. Incredible is a syndrome who created a robot pretty much like AI. The robot is learning. Every time mayroong move si Mr. Incredible, alam na nung AI, the next time he's gonna do it. So ganun yung AI, no? Hindi natin maulit yung gagawin natin because it's feeding a lot of information and already having a database of all of those information. So anyway, let's move forward at baka mamaya magong ako rito sa overtime, no? So basically, that's where the attacks that are happening. So these are major breaches that we have encountered in the Philippines. We have the COMELEC data breach in 2016. We have phishing campaigns targeting government officials back in 2020. Hanggang ngayon, nangyayari pa rin po ito. Water supply cyber attack ng 2021. We had a ransomware attack on hospitals in 2021. This is the pandemic era, no? Because yung pandemic ang nag-revolutionize ng ating digitalization. Kasi kahit ayaw niyong mapunta ang data niyo online, you were forced to because we had to work from home. And ang mangyari pa doon, hindi kami nakapag-issue ng enough gadgets for use sa bahay. So, nangyari? BYOD, no? Bring your own device. So, hindi siya na-control. So, yun yung nangyari dun sa 2021-2022 wish, no? This is a black swan event. Nobody was thinking it's gonna happen, but it happened, and it impacted the whole world. We also had the National Bureau of Investigation hack in 2022. We have the energy grid and critical infrastructure threats because, as they said, half of it is already owned by China, and so with the flick of a switch, mawawalan tayo ng power. No? So yun yung problema natin sa ating critical infrastructures. And itong huli, anong na-hack? Yung FEO. And what is with FEO? Now they know lahat ng may baril at anong bahay ang may baril at kung ano yung baril nyo. Right? Over and above that, per the Bureau of Immigration, nung nagsimula silang pumasok dito, there are 4 million able-bodied Chinese fighting age already inside the Philippines. And ilan lang kaming AFP? 110,000-ish plus 1.2 million reserves in paper. No? Hindi naman active lahat yan, sir, di ba? Oo, so dagdag kayo sa amin, ilan din lang kayo. Di ba? So, ibig sabihin, kahit magbayong dalang tayong lahat, the 4 million who's already inside the Philippines, while we're waiting for them to come in their aircrafts and their ships, are already inside. And what if somebody commands, it's time, and then magising tayong alas 3, alas 2 sa madaling araw at nandiyan sila lahat sa labas ng bahay natin, anong gagawin natin? And alam nila kung kaninong bahay may baril dahil sa FEO. Right? So, the thing is, I would ask individual people when I do these lectures, and I would ask, okay, sige, nagwangwang ngayon. So sabihin ni Factor, ako na naman. Iba naman. So, for example, ito si Kabugayan. Biglang nagwangwang ngayon. Andyan sila sa labas. Where will you go and what will you do? No? I get troops saying, magtatago na lang ako. No? So, we don't even have that drills na at this point in time, if something really happens, what would we really do? No? Camp defense and defense in general of everything. So, napakarami nating pag-uusapan at kailangan gawin, no? So, ayan. In our case, from the President, the DND has declared that we will be implementing the Comprehensive Archipelagic Defense Concept, yung CADC. Ano tong CADC? By the name in itself, it's a Comprehensive Archipelagic Defense Concept. So, dahil archipelago ang Pilipinas, mayroon tayong komprehensibang plano. Yung comprehensive plan na yon is how do we increase our numbers, no? Yan yung nagdadagdag tayo ng reservist, no? ROTC, lahat na yan, no? Kung paano natin dadagdagan yung puwersa natin. Kung as much as possible sana, pag nagbayong dalang tayong lahat, ang nasa likod natin are the women and children na lang. But every fighting class should be willing to fight with us, no? So, ayun. EDCA sites also are there kasi yung mga salient portions ng entry points ng ating archipelago, those are where EDCA sites are. Anong nangyari sa EDCA sites na to? Nung pinaalis natin yung Amerikano bases, no, Subic and Clark, hindi naman na-repeal yung Visiting Forces Agreement, di ba, sir? So dahil may VFA, they still come back for balikatan exercises, friendly games, or whatever. And since they come, when they come here, wala silang place to stay because nga pinaalis natin bases nila. That's the EDCA sites, no? They fund for it para pag dumating sila, meron silang billeting, meron silang paglagyan ng gamit nila. In effect, atin yun. Kasi nasa atin, ginastusan nila, but it is a multi-role facility. Ibig sabihin, it can serve as fisherman shelters, it can serve as evacuation sites pag may sakuna, and anything else in between kung para saan natin siya gamitin. So multi-role yung EDCA sites. Yan ang kwento behind the EDCA sites. But ilalagay natin siya sa mga strategic points. No? Yun all over to defend our archipelago. Kasi inaaliw nila tayo sa tensions dito sa lugar na to, dito. Pero medyo hinihiritan nila tayo ng paunti-unti sa ibang places. So we really have to up our game in terms of putting up all of these strategic points and guard them. So ganun din po sa amin, no? Sinigundahan ng aming Chief of Staff. So siguro naman naulit-ulit na sa inyo to kung bakit napakainit na usapin nitong West Philippine Sea, South China Sea, di ba? Dahil nga sa trade that is coming in. So in fact, dahil buong mundo may stake dyan. Kasi gusto nila free and open yan. Dahil we do not want to pay toll fees whenever any vessel would deliver vehicles, karne, gulay, or whatever through the South China Sea. Kaya ang tawag sa atin ng I think CBC, which is an international entity, is the Philippines is the guardians of the South China Sea. Kasi tayo na yung naipit dyan, na tayo lang din ang, tayo lang actually, ang medyo merong pinaparamdam na hindi natin gusto yung nangyayari. No? And so with that, tayo lang din ang malakas ang loob na magsalita against China about it, no? So parang wala kang maririnig ng ibang bansa na nagkakaroon ng so many pronouncements about dito sa usapin ng South China Sea. So ito yung kwento dyan, alam nyo na yan, no? 9-dash line, and mula pagkabata, no? In-inculcate na nila yan sa kanila, kaya lahat sila naniniwala na yan. But we do not want to promote xenophobia and racism. So hindi tayo galit sa mga Chinese. What we are up against is the CCP, which is only a small portion of China. No? But they are highly influential. And ginawa nila lahat para maniwala yung buong sangkatauhan nila na tama yung contention nila. No? Sir, correct me if I'm wrong, if mayroon akong may ano dyan. And so, ang gusto natin ma-penetrate, which is highly important to the CCP, is yung mindset ng tao nila. Yun lang. They don't care what the whole world will say about them. What they care about is what their constituents say. No? So ngayon, hindi natin mapasok yun because they don't even have Facebook. They don't have Google. No? They have Weibo lang and everything. No? So may sarili sila. Sobra silang naka-analyze doon. And because they grew up believing about the 9-dash line, yun yung mahirap natin ngayon na i-inculcate sa kanila. So anong gusto natin gawin? No? We talk to them when they're out of China. So it's gonna be us working with, say, Department of Tourism. When the Chinese go out as tourists, dapat habang naghihintay sila dyan, paikot-ikot yung bagahe, tagal maghintay, di ba? Sana may screen na tayo doon and show them about yung arbitral ruling and everything, no? And if they go to Palawan or Boracay, dapat meron na rin tayong mga ganun doon so that they get the narrative from our end na, mayroon din naman palang pinaglalaban tong Pilipinas. And you know, the Chinese people, hindi sila papayag na makipag-away si China sa Philippines because they will come out as a bully. Dahil malaki, superpower sila and maliit tayo. Kaya anong ginagawa ng CCP? Lagi nila tayong kinoconnect sa US. Kaya sabi nila, US will do the RORE for you and everything. Kaya po, pag nag-pronouncement kami, ang maririnig nyo, we are doing everything in our power para kumalas dun sa narrative na yon. That we want to do it independently and we want to do it as long as we can, na kaya na tayo lang. So, sabi natin na ironclad is their zeal to let us do it alone. Because at the end of the day, tayo lang din talagang gagawa niyan. Si madrama lang naman dyan, isayungin. All the other 8 features, we do RORE on a regular basis using our gray ships. But yung ayungin lang, hindi natin magamit yung gray ships. Kasi, yun nga, meron siyang drama to it. So, naging 10-dash line siya. Why has it become 10? Because, in-extend lang nila because they're trying to take Taiwan. Taiwan is the 10th dash. No? So, yan. And bakit tikom ang bibig ng ASEAN? Because kasama sila sa usapin, no? There's a lot who's claiming, which China, Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, and Vietnam. So, tikom ang bibig nila kasi hindi sila pwede mag-side to anyone. But we also need to show them, to tell them our narrative. And how do we do that? Kayo, sir, sa Coast Guard, napakarami nyo pong foreign schooling, napakarami nyong mga foreign seminars and all. That's a forum for us to share the narrative of the Philippines. No, let's speak up. Let's tell them what we really have to say. No, so para ganon. Yan. So, ang conflict dyan is right versus might. It's us who has the right, no? And they have the might. We are against the largest navy, no? So, kaya nga bangga-banggain lang nila yung mga barko natin, ubos na. Wala na rin tayo may deploy, di ba? So, kaya iniiwasan din natin na ma-damage yung mga barko natin sa konti. So, we're really doing everything in our power to do it the diplomatic way. Kasi nasa atin ang tama. So, we are dalawang batang naglalaro, no? Tayo yung mabait and binubuli tayo. Pero yung bully, pinipitik yung tenga natin, ilong natin, no? And pag tayo ay napikon, tayo yung nanuntok, sinong masama sa international community? Tayo. Kaya, dito tayo sa diplomatic way of doing this. Hindi tayo nagpapapikon. We are playing a different game. We're playing a game of chess. The Philippines is playing a game of chess. We're doing it strategically, but they want to do it in judo or no. So they want it in brawl. So magkaiba tayo ng nilalaro, pero they're trying to lure us to play their game. So yun yung talagang iniiwasan natin. Alam mo ba fear namin nung time na nagkakagulo? Imagine mo, sound, di ba? Yung may sirens, may smoke, may light, may laser, may everything. Imagine mo yung chaotic na yon na experience, and you are trained to fight as naval SEAL, and you cannot fight. No? So that was the greatest act of courage na inisip talaga namin, paano if somebody snaps? Diba? Imagine mo, walang baril yung tropa, diba, kinuha. Pero dun sa barko, sa LS-57, authorized ang baril dun because that is a commissioned Navy vessel. And yung nandun sa taas are Marines na ang tagal na dun. And yun rotation. So nandun na yung kapalit mo, uwing-uwi ka na, tumawag ka na sa misis mo na pauwi na ako, honey. So hindi ka makapagpalitan. Diba? So if one snaps, we don't know what could have happened. So really, believe din tayo sa valor ng ating mga nandoon sa LS-57 at that time. Okay. So ayan, no? Ito, ang sinasabi natin dito, we use cyber to our advantage. The Philippines has the most number of people who are in social media at any one time. So kung lahat lang tayo magsalita tungkol sa West Philippine Sea at hindi puro TikTok lang ang inaatupag at kung ano-anong kalukuhan, hindi sana yung narrative ng Philippines will be all over the world. No? Ang gusto lang naman natin mangyari, pati nga yung mga pati yung mga terminologies natin should be used by the world. Kakaunti pa lang ang gumagamit ng West Philippine Sea, kakaunti pa lang ang gumagamit ng ICAD. No? So gusto natin, yung terminologies natin, yung narratives natin would really, resonate to the whole world. And just this map alone being shared to the whole world, ang laking bagay, di ba? Imagine mo, ito, 875 kilometers as opposed to us, who's only 230 kilometers away, tapos sasabihin nila kanila yan. Di ba? Just mere images that we can share, no? Tell your friends, tell your families to share our own narratives, no? Pagtulungan natin to. So hindi natin kayang ito lang. So ito, alam niyo naman yung kwento nito, no? Yung baseline, 12 nautical miles is territorial sea. So kahit anong mangyari, pag dyan sila pumasok, bakbakan yan. Atin yan, no? But yung from the baseline, 200 nautical miles is exclusive economic zone coming from the arbitral ruling. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya atin. Otherwise, if we say atin to ang West Philippine Sea, we are taking the narrative of China na inaangkin ng South China Sea. Ang atin ay ang yaman ng West Philippine Sea. So, ang yaman ng West Philippine Sea ay para sa Pilipino. So, pag sinabi natin atin to kasi, parang inangkin natin yung tubig. These are still open waters, but the resources is ours. So, hindi nila tayo pwedeng pigilan na mangisda. Hindi nila tayo pwedeng pigilan na mag-exploit the oils and oil reserves and everything. So, yun ang natin dyan. Kaya, pag may dumadaan-daan at sinasabi ng mga Pilipino sa news, andyan na, sobrang lapit na, anong ginagawa ng Coast Guard, anong ginagawa ng Navy? Wala. because they're very careful not to go to the territorial 12 nautical miles. Nasa labas sila ng 12 nautical miles. And because dumaan lang sila, they are exercising freedom of navigation. But hindi natin na din sinasabi yun kasi parang justify natin na okay lang yun. No? So, yun yung ano dyan. Okay. So, parang pinatigil na nila yung presentation ko. Time's up na ba? Okay. So ito ang what we are looking for. So lahat ng ginagawa nila is actually part of their strategy to come up from their 100 years of shame. No? So they have a 3 warfare strategy that they're implementing. They use media, psychology, and law. So lahat yan sabay-sabay. Lahat-lahat yan. So anything that they do is part of the grand plan. Sister cities, free scholarship grants to China, no? Visiting professors teaching in our universities, no? Lahat yan, no? And even yung mga cyber attacks nga, no? So the cyber attacks that comes in is yun yung mga nagre-recruit ng nasa forces to be researchers or to be part of their team, something like that, and they offer big money. They're actually offering Filipino hackers 500,000 each to hack our own systems. No, so ganun ng they're using the money. So these are all part of their united front works. So everything is part of a grand plan. So, ito, kasama yan, yung Pogo Island. So, if ito, medyo tahimik ito, no? But if you look at that, there is no way you can pass through Coastal Road without passing through this tall building in Pogo Island, no? So, yun. Sorry. And, yun, yung sabi sa Chinese inside our subdivisions. And sabi ko nga, it's time, what do we do? Our political system, si Alice Guo, and maybe there could be someone else or meron pa dyan, and Pogo related crimes, no? So we have international operations, cybercrime, fraud, lahat yan. So lahat yan kasama sa United Front Works, no? Na scheme, no? And they were also destroyed 21,000 acres of coral. And yung sinira nilang yan, tignan mo, ginamit nila to build artificial islands. Tapos kini-question nila yung LS-57 kung ano daw yung footprint nun, no? So those things. But these are all the artificial islands that they have all over the South China Sea, no? Not just hindi lang siya sa sa part natin. So ito, we have to understand artificial intelligence-driven attacks, no? So ngayon, while pwede tayong gumawa ng troll farms, no? But it's still the humans. Well, they're already using numerous phones, and yun na, no? May mga keywords lang, sasagutin na nila agad ng narrative nila. Automated na lahat using artificial intelligence. They don't even need to use people to do it for them, no? So we really need to up our game in terms of our defenses by using AI as well. No? Ito, yung sinasabi ko, yung flashlight app. If you look at flashlight app, kahit yung kayo magkatabi, and look at settings, magkaiba kayo ng file size. Bakit? Kasi when you downloaded it, no, mayroon na siyang kasamang listening software. So ano pa yung mga kasama dyan? Donations from China, giving us free smart TVs. And malaking TV, 80 inches, nilagay nyo sa conference room nyo. So rinig na rinig lahat ng conferences nyo. No? So lahat yan, tablets, laptops, Lenovo laptops, when it was opened by the US, yung mismong keylogger is already embedded in the hardware. So tignan nyo din yung mga devices that you buy, no? So yung mga yan. And ito nga yung permissions kanina na pag-usapan natin yan, no? Access to your microphones, access to your cameras. So they can very well watch you while you sleep. So hindi ba kayo nagtataka minsan yung phone nyo nandyan tapos bigla lang on yung screen, no? So may mga ganyan. So pinapanood nila kayo habang tulog kayo. Hindi lang yung voice nyo yung naririnig. And this man was caught, no, with a lot of devices. And one of his devices na nasa van niya is portable or mobile na cell site. So that means if pumarada siya sa labas ng DFA, sir, lahat ng transmission to the tower will not go to the tower but go to his van. So all the phone calls, all the messages, all the emails, sa kanya lahat dadaan. And anong ginawa natin? Dineport natin siya. Yan. So, yun, no? These are challenges that we're facing, no? Our great online presence, of course, itong mga threats that we're facing, yung mga malwares and all that, medyo meron akong time limit, so magmamadali na po ako. And yan, ang pinaka-glaring na titignan natin is they will really try to influence our elections. So this is one thing that we're really looking into, no? Both in cyber domain and of course the physical domain, no? With the sister cities and everything, meron silang manok, so to speak, na gusto nila na yun ang manalo. So, all of that, this one, we're already at war at this point. We are at war with words. No? He says, she says na yan, no? So this is all part of it. Yung gray zone, wag natin gagamitin yan. That is their terminology. When we talk about what they're doing, we tell it as ICAD. Illegal, coercive, aggressive, and deceptive. Yan ang Philippine term to their gray zone tactics. We don't use gray zone. And we also don't use shadowing if they're going with us. Shadowing is to the territorial state. So pag West Philippine Sea at sinabayan nila tayo, we don't say that China is shadowing us because this is our territory. So we say they're escorting us or they're observing us, but we don't say, if we do it to them, that's shadowing because it's our territory. So iwasan natin mga ganong terminologies. This one is a supply chain attack, no? Yung sa Hezbollah, no? Nag-legacy system sila, pero anong nangyari? Doon pa rin sila in-attack, no? Sa pagers and walkie-talkies. So really, yung mga modernization projects natin, tignan nyo pag dineliver sa inyo, no? Kung ano yung lagi na mga radio systems that gonna be delivered sa supply chain na siya. So, ang sabi nga ng ating presidente, no, ang West Philippine Sea ay hindi kathang-isip lamang. So, ito totoo siya. And this is arbitral ruling that favored us, and so we have the right to it. And lahat kasi yan will revolve around the foreign policy. And ang foreign policy po ng ating presidente is to do it the diplomatic way. So ito ang powers of the state. We have the DIMFEL, diplomatic, information, military, economic, financial, intelligence, and law. And sa foreign policy ni presidente, we're doing it diplomatic. No? So, yung military, nandito kami, na-up natin yung ating modernization, forming alliances, but we are, pang ilan pa tayo dito sa powers of the state. So, diplomatic information, we are at war with that now, no? And law enforcement, yun din yung ginagamit natin sa ngayon. So, ang sabi, de-escalate, but the truth is, we do not de-escalate because we do not escalate to begin with. Hindi naman talaga eh. So, we do not escalate, but we cannot de-escalate. They should be the one to de-escalate. No? Sila dapat, kasi sila yung nag-escalate eh. So, this is what we're doing in the AFP. We're modernizing. Kayo din naman, no? Marami kayong we are yung alliances natin, yan, with our balikatan sa Laknib exercises, multilateral cooperative exercises. It's very good, no, na kasama na namin lagi kayo dyan, ang Coast Guard. So pag nagsasalita po ako, lagi kong sinasabi na lagi tayong magkatuwang. Yan. And sa AFP po, we are one of the agencies that has a very high trust rating from the Filipinos. So ngayon po, napakataas ng patriotic spirit ng bawat Pilipino. Filipinos are willing to fight with us. So we have to leverage on that. Ang tanong lang naman ng bawat Pilipino, anong pwede namin gawin? So turuan natin sila, anong pwede natin gawin? Yun nga, sa information domain, it's level ground. So kung gamitin natin boses natin, gamitin natin social media, spread the narrative of the Philippines, makakatulong ang bawat mamamayang Pilipino. Yung mga able-bodied, mag-ROTC, mag-reservist, and all that, no, those things, they can do that. So, let's not leave them hanging on what they can do for us. Meron silang pwedeng itulong. And, yan. So, we're really very glad with this, no? Let's also stop the proliferation of fake news. Pag narrative ng China, wag na tayong mag-comment, wag na tayong mag-react, wag na just let it die its natural death, no? And if possible, i-report natin yung site that is proliferating their narrative. So yan, and join the reserve force. Yan yung mga natin doon. So sabi ng ating presidente, no, Filipinos do not yield and so we do not yield. And in the Armed Forces of the Philippines, sa ating information campaign, we have the Complan Mulat. Yung mulat is awakening, no? Mamulat tayo. And it's three-pronged, no? Ang isa is KKK po yan, no? Karagatan, karapatan, at kinabukasan. Yung RCs, alamin natin. And ito po yun. We're saying to you the narrative, the historical events that led to this and all that, no? And our rights, in the arbitral ruling, ito po yung ating ipaglalaban. And ito po, is kanina nabanggit din ni Sir when he did his talk, no? This is gonna be mamanahin nito ng future generations natin. Hindi ito mag-e-end sa lifetime natin kahit anong magkakaedaran tayo ngayon. You know, that is our future. So, suportahan po natin ito, no? This will be for our next generations to come. So, we really have to do this the right way, no? And, you know, kailangan magkaroon na natin tayo ng how we would tell our future generations about really what is happening in the West Philippine Sea. So with all that said po, no, sa manlulupig, hindi tayo pasisiil. No? Magtulong-tulong tayo dito. Our Armed Forces of the Philippines is with the Coast Guard on this. We're always part of this and let's do this together for the sovereignty of the Philippine nation. Maraming salamat.